So hello everyone, welcome back to Multipurpose with Lakshit. I'm here with Siri Ravikumar. So Siri was an RJ, she's an actor and a singer. So thanks for coming here today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Lakshit. Nice to know you.
Okay, so before getting into deep questions, my first question to you is if you can just explain about what you do and about your background.
Yeah, so I've always been very curious about my life, about what to do, where do I want to be, what is the one thing that everybody says that you need to know what you want to be in life. So under a lot of pressure, I think I have ended up doing a lot of things and still struggling to find what I really want to do. So if I have to just give you a bit of my education background, I studied journalism, psychology, and literature, English literature in my bachelor's.
Okay.
And then I went on to do a master's in mass communication. And after that, is when this clueless phase really set in, and I was thinking what to do. And I got a job in Radio Mirchi. So I joined there as a show producer. So show producer is one who plans the show, who gets content and gets it running. And a year passed by, and my program said, "Why don't we audition you since you know the language?" I was in the Kannada radio. So since you know the language and I kind of like your voice, why don't you try? And then I did an audition, and I started doing my weekend shows. So I used to host an interview kind of a show with the celebrities. And then I went on to do a regular show, a weekday show in the afternoon, and then a drive time, then the night show. So my journey with radio has been surprising. So after that, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to host a TV show in Colors. So that went on for 3 seasons. And acting has always been there with me. I've done theater, a bit of plays here and there. So yeah, so far so good. It's been going on, and I don't know what next I'm going to do, but I really want to try a lot of things. And apart from that, music also has been like an innate part of me. I have learnt a bit of it, and I keep singing here and there. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
Okay, wonderful. So that's so interesting. So if you can, speak about the journey of being a radio jockey.
It is great. See, radio is always fascinating, right? When I was young, so I grew up with AIR and Vivid Bharati, those ads and those the time that used to come on radio. That's how we used to get ready. So my mom would be like, "It's 9 o'clock because this song is coming," and she knows like the top of the hour. So radio has always been a part of life since my childhood. So I knew 9 o'clock, if that ad came, my auto is going to come and I need to leave to school.
Yeah.
So from then to listening to my favorite songs, and the FM boom happened, with Radio City coming into picture, like Suresh Venkat, Chaitanya Hegde, all of our favorite RJs. So I was always fascinated with radio as a medium. And being a show producer to an RJ, the journey has been overwhelming, I could say. Talking to a lot of people, interacting with them, and bringing their voice out. Why do you voice out your opinion? It is a great medium to have friends, I believe. So I think I've gained a lot of friends in this radio jockey journey.
Okay. Would you like to speak about the dark side of radio jockey?
I think the only dark side we had was to not have leaves. So we would never get an off.
Okay.
So Sunday used to be an off, and then we used to always go 6 days a week. Independence Day, Ganesh Chaturthi, like Christmas, we had no offs while people were enjoying. So if one person takes an off, you fill in for the other RJ, because we do not want to let go of those listeners who are listening to us no matter what. So I think that's the only funny dark side I could say that I had with radio. But I think there's no dark side, I could say, with radio. But I think it's just it just becomes monotonous if we kind of play the same kind of music. I think content wise and music wise, I think Kannada radio as such and the FM can really evolve, I feel.
Okay, so what did you learn from the journey of radio jockey?
That every second matters. Every second matters, and no matter how you are, the show must go on.
Okay.
And I'm an actor, and on stage or camera, And on radio, every second matters. You can't wait, and nobody waits for you.
Right.
And you are there to put a smile on others' faces, and that's your responsibility and privilege you've got. So I think that's what I've learned, that time is very important. Every second matters, and the show must go on.
Okay. So coming apart from the journey of Radio Jockey, how did you get into acting?
So there was a period
Uh-huh.
after my bachelor's, I was really clueless as to what to do. So I decided I'll take a break and figure it out. Then maybe I will choose the path I really want to take. So in that gap of a year, I happened to go and do a play. So Prakash Carvalho is a renowned actor and my guru and great director. So he was doing a play. It was the Women's Day. It was 2010. It was on the occasion of Women's Day. He was doing an all-women cast play. And my very good friend told me that, why don't you give it a try? Why don't you go give a reading? And that's how it started. So even before that, I had done a play because of my friend. She just dragged me into it. She said, hey, I think you just have to come help me backstage. And then the director saw us and he's like, why don't you be on the stage? So that was also a short stint I had done in 2007. But 2010 is when I really started acting, I could say. And
Okay.
after that, a lot of followed by, and few films here and there, and short films and web series. So hopefully that also will flourish.
Okay. So like which Kannada films have you done, and how did you get find your place there?
Everything, I mean, when I think about my life, I feel everything has happened by chance, and
Okay.
I really thank my stars for that. So when Ananya Kasarvali was doing her debut, she was directing a film called Harikatha Prasanga. She met me and she said there's a role of a reporter, a student who's curious of this person, the protagonist, and she starts investigating about his life. How would you be interested in doing this? And I said, of course, I will do it. So that was my first ever film that I acted in, the camera that I faced, Ananya Kasarvali's first film. And then I met P. Sheshadri sir, and he casted me in his film. And there were few roles because of my radio. I've played a role of an RJ in a few films. And yeah, then there were few web series that I was part of with RJ Pradeepa's Sakat Studios production by mistake. And it's going to release very soon. I'm really happy to be part of that project. So yeah, that's how it started. It started from nowhere, and then I kind of got to know a lot of people, and the work is going on, and hopefully more projects are going to come.
Okay. So again, what did you learn from being an actor?
Being an actor made me a very sensitive person, because you're not playing you're playing a character. So you can never show your ego. You can never show your what do you say, your personal attitude towards it. Your only attitude should be to play the character. So my biggest learning is to be yourself, and to welcome the character in you and be that character as well. So being this dual role is what makes you real sensitive to the character and the project itself. So being an actor has made me humble
Mhm.
and more understanding
Okay.
towards people through the characters, I feel.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
So, what's would you like to speak about the bad side of being an actor?
Again, see, in this field, the time is not organized. So you start by 7 o'clock, you finish by 9, 10, 1, 2. So it kind of takes a toll on your health. So you always need to stay fit. You need to take care of yourself, your mental health. That is a routine that becomes. Otherwise, when you see people working otherwise, they usually you have a weekend off, you have these days off. But here it's either you have a lot of work or you don't have a lot of work. So
Yeah.
it kind of takes a toll on your mental health, I could say, but it's not a dark side, I would say. You could also make use of the time when you don't have work, but it's always anxious to an actor or any person when they don't get work. I think that could
Yeah.
be a stressful factor about this job.
Okay. So how did you had some situations where it put a toll on your mind, and if yes, how did you get out of it?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, there was one time I was acting in the web series, and I had my radio job, and I was also hosting a show on TV. So in a week, I think I was handling three jobs at a time
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Very stressful, but it was also very enjoyable because I'm shooting and then I'm going to the radio show and then I'm coming here hosting the show. So it was too much work. It kind of was stressful. But when everything stopped, because all the projects got over, and that kind of made me feel that void that, oh, I don't have anything right now and I have to wait till I get some work. So, and at the same time, I think the whole lockdown happened. So I think
Yeah.
everybody did not have a job at the same time. So that kind of not working constantly kind of can you make you a little sad about just not doing anything. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying when you're used to
Yeah.
being busy.
Yeah.
So how I cope with it, I watch movies. I think
Okay.
simple solution. Just distract myself and then focus and be positive that things will fall into place.
Okay. So how do you can you just talk about some differences about Kannada film industry, or something which is not right and something which can be a change?
Kannada industry, I would say, is more like a family. Like I'm
Okay.
sure every industry they have their own family bonding.
Yeah.
Uh, what I would say is it is much more organized in some way, I could say, but at the same time, I think what the industry needs is more organization in terms of, say, your finances, to your planning, to giving equal opportunities to people.
Okay.
You could have more organization, is what I would say. But it's also very challenging to be that. I think every industry aims to be that kind of a thing,
Yeah.
but it takes time, it takes a lot of support, it takes a lot of support from the government. So I'm sure what happens is they're also struggling, they're also trying to put as much form as possible into the industry, but I just feel more of it has to be there, more
Okay.
organized.
Okay. So do you get hate comments by the audience?
I have got when I just did my first TV show. So there's usually a comparison, when a previous host would host a show, and then there's a new face that comes. So it's sometimes very difficult for the audience to take it, saying that they would have liked some other host, and that happens to us as well, right? Like
Yeah.
when if say Kapil Sharma is not hosting his show and somebody else is doing it, so
Yeah.
a lot of people may like it, a lot of people may not like
Not
it.
like it. Yeah.
So there were few comments, but I never took it to heart. But that happens to every person,
Okay.
like every artist has gone through that. So it's something negligible because you can't please everyone and you don't have to.
So do you think the Kannada industry is male dominated?
I also want to be really honest that I'm not like an integral how do I say that? I don't know the industry in and out, and how much ever of industry that I know, I
Okay.
think I would be wrong to comment about it
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like I've done 50 films. It's not that I've met every director,
Yeah.
but yes, as a radio professional, as a TV host, I've met them. As a host, and they've been my guests all the time. And even in my shooting days, I don't think there is a lot of gossip running around. And whatever we hear is from social media and from the papers. Though we are media generators, but we also get information from somewhere. But so if when you say male dominated, yes, I've overheard that it is. So it could be. And I think the entire Indian film industry is going through the dominance. And I think women are scaling up with
Yeah.
their,
Yeah.
say, their pay scale, demanding equal lead, that you would say. So I think slowly the changes are happening, but what I've heard, probably it is.
Okay. So last thing, can you speak about the journey? How did you get into singing? And sing in small, any song you love for us.
So singing, okay, so I come from a background where my parents used to sing, and my dad used to be an actor when he was younger and all that. So he used to sing, my mom used to sing. I'm sure, like, I've picked up singing from there. So when I was young, I used to just sing at home, and you know how there's a gathering and everybody will be like, Siri, please one hard hedu, like, please sing a song for us.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how singing actually started. And then my parents were like, why do you want to let it go for a waste? So I started learning Carnatic, and I think I did my junior exam, and then I was interested in Hindustani, so I ended up learning Hindustani, a little bit of it. And I used to sing Sugama Sangita, Bhav Gita in Kannada.
Okay.
And yeah, recently I sang a song in this movie called Varga, composed by Udit Haritas. So I think just like that, I've not been actively pursuing it, but then because music is very close to my heart, so that's something that I'll not give up. So it's been part of me. It's just been going on. So whatever comes my way, that's what.
Okay. So just a small song you would like to sing. Anything.
जागले कि फिर हंसी रात हो न हो, शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो न हो, लग जा गले से हे.
Wow,
Okay.
wonderful. So beautiful voice. Thank you very much for singing. So coming just at the end, 5 last questions for you. So
5 last? Oh God,
so it's
Lakshit.
yeah, I said it for two, but so these questions are like you can just answer them in one word or one sentence. It's a very small question. It's
Okay.
like in fast questions.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So best advice you ever received from someone?
I received from somebody.
Yeah.
I'll just give a little bit of background before I say what best advice, or I could just say some best learning, I could say. We were doing this play called Hardy's Apology, and Prakash Belwadi, he had directed the play. And there was a scene, and then we were rehearsing, and then he said that, there's a philosophy that desire, is something that you want to get what you want no matter what, and you will also get what you want no matter what. But after you get it, it'll never be the way you wanted it.
Mhm.
So he says desire is like that. So you choose what you want and how badly you want it. So I think that is still in my head. I could use that as a learning, as a
Okay.
good advice.
And the worst advice?
Worst advice
Yeah.
is when I'm crying and somebody comes and says it'll all be okay, don't worry. That's the worst.
Okay. So, what would be an advice to anyone who wants to become an RJ, an actor, or a singer?
Is that don't look at somebody and say that, I'm going to become like them. That's why I'm going to do whatever I'm doing. So don't choose your role models, choose your goals wisely, because some person would have become something by
Yeah.
what or how, you never know. So
Yeah.
choose your calling and do what you truly think you want to do, is would be my small little advice.
Oh, wonderful. So again, an advice to an 18-year-old self.
18-year-old self.
Yeah.
Uh, I used to be a very quiet person, So I think if my 18-year-old self, I would have said that, Siri, why didn't you start then? Or why were you so quiet back then? I would have said, like, I should have been jungly like I am right now back then.
Okay. So last question. Would you like to convey a message to the audience, or would you like to speak out something?
I think we all overthink a lot, like
Yeah.
think is part of our sentence. And I'll be lying, I would be lying if I say I don't do. But all that it has given me is delaying my time and not be doing the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think in this time, especially when we are down here, and I don't know when you're going to play, but whenever, when we think about our lockdown times, we feel that, at this point, what we try to do is overthink about life, about what we're going to do, where we're going to be, including me. So I would say that just make peace with a lot of things and try to be calm. Do things that'll only make you feel happy, because otherwise there's no other point, I think.
So had a wonderful session with you. Thanks for joining in us today.
Hey, thank you. Thanks a lot for having me, because I think usually I'm on the other side of
Okay.
the camera or the mic or anything, or I'm usually giving out questions and asking questions to people. And the first time I'm taking questions, it feels nice. Thank you.